Today is day 102, I think, of our journey to 2000. And I say our journey because it makes it sound nicer. It makes it sound like you're included, even though you might not be on a journey to 2000. Anyway, I did a bunch of stuff. We're going to go over what I studied, and then we're going to play a game. The first thing, I saw one of my friends on chess.com played a game with 100% accuracy, and I was like, what? So I looked at the game, and it had to do with the Englund Gambit, which is an English, not an English. Well, actually, it might be an English gambit. I don't know, but it's an interesting gambit. There's this, which I know is the Scandinavian, where the pawns go like this, and white moves their king's pawn. But I never played with the D pawn. I never moved the queen's pawn forward. Apparently, in this kind of mirrored position, it's called the Englund Gambit, because after you take and some pieces come to defend, the queen can come out to attack the pawn, and it's just better for white. There was one line I was looking at like this, and it's just, you know, the queen could get just get pushed around, kind of similar to the Scandinavian, but it's just, you know, you gambited a pawn. What happened in the game I looked at was something like this, and then the opponent developed the knight, allowing the rook to attack. And instead of just taking this pawn, which you really can't do anyway, the knight comes here, forking this beautiful kind of attack. You can't go to a5 because the bishop will take the queen, and the opponent resigned here. So I thought that was interesting. Anyway, I also did like 3 hours of puzzles while listening to Conan O'Brien's Find a Friend or whatever podcast, which was fun. So I just wanted to mention that. And I played 4 games. So this first game is not being analyzed by the engine, and now it is. Okay. So this started as a Sicilian. All the variations of Sicilian, I feel like, have very similar move orders, no matter what they play. But a lot of people I've been versing lately have been playing the open dragon. Okay, I don't know what it's called, but they keep playing it this way with the pawns developing this way. So maybe I should start paying attention to more lines like this. But apparently here, and I actually considered this pawn move in the game to support the center pawn and allow my knight to come into the position possibly, because a6 hasn't been played yet. For example, if the bishop comes out, I actually thought maybe I have a chance of like, actually, now that I look at it, I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, I check instead, I castle, and it's a pretty even game, and here I make a mistake. I move this pawn thinking I'm such a genius, but it allows the knight to get in, which is the big mistake. For example, if the knight comes in here, let's say I took this bishop thinking, oh, I'm taking the bishop, he could take, forking the queen and rook. Okay, well, let's say he comes in here and I bring my queen closer to protect. He could still take, and after takes, he has b6, increasing pressure on my knight. Also, my king could, you know, my queen could get pinned. Just a little bit annoying. Let's say I come here to protect, right? And I think, oh, I'm so smart. Now there's extra pressure here. So something like takes, and then e5, just finally coming into the center. And my queen is going to get hurt really badly, right? So, I mean, computer says this, but there's too many things going on, so much hanging, it's just terrible. So that didn't happen, but I kind of know that I can't really just push this right away. Basically, it opens up my king, and I wasn't in a good position to do that. I bring the bishop back, I bring the queen closer, we trade, I take the knight, and here I feel like most of my problems are away. I move my king so I don't get hit, and right after this pawn move, I was like, damn, maybe I should have just taken here. You know, I was just thinking, what do I do after this? Well, the knight covers it, actually. Oh, no, I saw that the knight covers it, but, like, I didn't like how this looked. Apparently, this is kind of even. Well, I'm slightly losing or whatever, and I could come to c4, and if takes here, then I go to b3, and I guess I'm kind of trapping / kicking the rook away. But I would be down a pawn for the time being. So this is what happened instead. I pushed the pawn. I love pushing pawns this game. I connect everything. And here, I actually didn't know how to save the pawn. Apparently, let's say he takes here. I can go e5 because the attention in the center has been kind of drawn, and this bishop looks a little stuck. So that's kind of interesting. Anyway, I'm definitely losing here, but I start playing faster, trying to kick things away, trying to reorient my pieces. I didn't even see losing the a4 pawn. I didn't see that. And now I have enough protection on the b3 pawn, and I'm trying to break through the center. I'm trying to block the bishop's access to the center of the board as well. Here, I should have seen this, adding the pressure. But, I mean, this just looked a little scary to me. Apparently, there's nothing to be scared of. Let's say the queen takes. I have bishop f3 at the end of that. Attacking the queen and rook, which is cool. I didn't see that. We just end up trading a bunch of stuff, and I'm trying to trade the least amount of things I can. And here, it was just terrible. I had no good moves, really. And we end up trading, and I'm like, it's okay, I'll move around. My opponent has 25 seconds. I have 1 minute and 46 seconds. And a bunch of moves later, on move 61, he ran out of time. So I got super lucky. The next game, I versus 1768 rated player. We go into the Englund counter gambit. And I actually play the best moves. And then I stop. So I think the idea of coming to f5 is just to take out the bishop. That's an annoying bishop in my position. And then a few moves later, after trading a bunch of stuff, even though I'm down a pawn in the Englund counter gambit, I see this as not that bad of a thing because I have control of a lot of stuff. And then I pick up the pawn. And I'm actually winning at this position. I'm winning because I could bring the rook and kind of paralyze the position. He can't move the knight because then I take the rook. If he moves the bishop, I take the rook. So what do you do here, right? Actually, a little bit tricky. You move the rook here so it's protected. And the bishop can move. Then after takes, I can actually deflect the king away from the protection of the rook. Let's say he comes here. Then I could do this. And this is just a better position because I guess I'm more active and stuff. And I'm probably going to end up winning the center pawn. I'm also up a pawn already. But I don't see that. I bring the bishop back. I protect because I don't want doubled pawns, even though I recognize that the rook will be kind of awkwardly placed. I should have brought the knight back, but I wanted it to continue having eyes on e5. Even though this is a weak pawn I could have attacked later, I was just obsessed with trying to attack it. The funny thing is, at a certain point, yeah, right here. Right here, I could have traded rooks. I didn't want to give him the open file, but this works because of... what was it, actually? Because then I would be able to take, because this is pinned. Which I don't know how I missed that over and over. So something like this, and I'm just winning, right? Or I guess slightly winning. He does still have a strong rook. But that's not what happens, and we just repeat, and I draw against the 1768 rated player. I'll go through this one a little faster. This was a Scotch game, so I flipped the board because I used to play the Scotch and just played my lines. And here I played something that I knew was not the best move, but I'm assuming my opponent plays the Scotch a lot more than me. And I saw my cousin play this against me. And the idea behind this move is to essentially just target the bishop, and if they just blitz out the pawn move, which is very common in this position, you could obviously just take the bishop. That's happened to me, I think, when I reached 15 or 1600. So that's kind of funny. and here my queen actually comes very close to getting taken. But it's a close position, and I see everything is good. I start calculating things here, but I didn't want to lose my bishop pair. Apparently, if I took with the bishop here, it's nice. Because let's say he takes here, then I take with check. Which is great. And most of my problems are bye-bye. And let's say he takes with the... let's say he takes with the pawn, then I can take. And I was looking at lines. My knight can come to f5. If he attacks my queen, for example, I could let him attack it, which is crazy. Wait, not like this. Sorry, like this. Because if he takes, I can go to... His queen is hanging with check, right? Okay. And if he sees that and he moves his queen to the side here to try to protect against that, then I have queen h3. I could take it, get rid of it, because I have this fork winning the queen. So crazy stuff in this game. Of course, neither of us really saw it. I definitely didn't see any of it. So I kind of blunder, taking with the knight. He takes back, and I move the bishop back. And this is pretty bad because now if the rook comes here, I think my queen is essentially trapped. So I was right to be worried about the queen getting trapped, but he moves his queen to the side, giving me some lucky positions. My queen is still trapped. And here he has this, what seems to be a beautiful move, and I thought I lost the game because it looks like checkmate, right? I counterattacked, and he could have ended the game by just going back. Why does this end the game? Because my queen is still trapped, right? But instead, he moves the queen to the wrong square, allowing me to come in with this beautiful checkmate. How lucky was this? What a beautiful luck move. I feel like the camera is not looking at my face. Whatever, you guys don't care about my face that much, right? Well, okay, anyway. So that was cool. The last game I versed a 1786 rated player. Or 1770, whatever. And we go into the Sicilian, French variation. Like, I know what that is. And I'm just playing what seem to be like normal moves in Sicilian games. I always end up playing book moves no matter the variation for the first 6 or 7 moves because they're very easy to kind of figure out. Like, in this case, there are no bishop moves here. The pawn blocks anything like that. I can't really bring my knight closer because this pawn was pushed forward. So I'm just going to develop the bishop and castle so there's no annoying attacks on my king, right? Like, that's just like the thinking I have. So all of this is book moves. Then he brings the bishop out. I bring the bishop here. And already on this move, I could have taken here. And I'm not going to pretend like I understand why. So we're going to move on. Okay. I take and... Oh, this I actually looked at. This was crazy. This is similar to Scotch lines, actually. So a lot of times in the Scotch... which doesn't go like that, it goes like this. People won't play it carefully and they'll like develop a knight or something. And the problem with this is that the knight attacks the queen and you have a discovered attack on the bishop. So you have to take the knight back. And after trading, you win the bishop. You're up a piece essentially, right? Something like this. So the same exact idea is here, which is so freaking fascinating. The knight comes here, threatening to take the queen. Now, it looks like the pawn could just take and everything is gone. But after the bishop takes... Oh, wait, I'm dumb. It's not the same thing. Because you do get rid of the knight. But you do have the, like what seems like a strong attack to me, right? The bishop stops the king from castling. You might win this pawn next. You have 2 attackers on it. The queen has a nice like view of stuff. Actually, I kind of wonder what... I didn't really look at lines here. Yeah, you see you can end up winning that pawn, and the king can't even castle. And you're just up a pawn. So, kind of a crazy position. Look at that, Jesus. Anyway. So that's something I missed. It would have been an interesting game, but, you know, I find this pawn move very common, and something... a pattern that I've started to see in many games where you could just push the e-pawn to push out the knight. It's just a common thing. He brings the knight, I take, he takes. And here I find this beautiful kind of pin attacking the queen. Okay, he takes, which I expect. I take back, and here I know I'm in a better position, but I didn't know how to kind of win. All right, because I'm up a pawn. This pawn is weak. This pawn is weak, but I have this open file. So I bring the queen here. Apparently, I was looking at lines like this, to be honest, guys. I was looking at lines like this, thinking I could do something here. But I didn't go for it because I didn't feel like it was worth it. Apparently, if I took the rook first, I guess the difference here is that the rook is pinned. And he would have to kind of go back. And I just increase the pressure like crazy. And he actually has nothing here, right? We could even trade, and I'm threatening mate. And I saw an idea like this, right? I saw some sort of idea like this. You would have to push the pawn to escape, I'm guessing. I saw some sort of idea, like one of these pawns, like this, because the bishop is blocked in, right? So I have to go on the offensive. Apparently, the way to break out of this, let's say he comes here, then I take his rook, is to just... It's going to be a very slow process for him. And while he's doing that, I could push my pawns. I'm not sure. Like, this looks kind of crazy to me, you know? Yeah, I guess I have more activity, and that's why I'm doing better. I'm kind of locking in this rook. Have a pawn that's close to promoting. I'm up 2 pawns, god damn it. Like, come on, I should have seen that idea. I mean, I'm not gonna get too mad at myself, but anyway, simplify the position while you're up a pawn, and you know, I'm gonna be up another pawn after taking this one. So I was thinking of I was thinking too big, and I just kept piling on pressure, thinking, if he keeps running away, I'm gonna have some really strong attack here. Which I was kind of right if he keeps taking my pieces, but I was way too slow. Here I didn't know what to do. And after a 30-second think, I didn't go for this because I thought he doesn't need to take. He could just move to the side. And now my queen is kind of, my bishop is stuck, right? So I was scared of that. I didn't know how to progress through that. Of course, this is checkmate, so I would force his queen to kind of rely on this diagonal. So, you know, and actually, this is winning, right? Because like, what do you do here? He's gonna lose the queen. Because if he takes, I just take the queen with mate. Wow. So I didn't see those ideas. Whatever. Maybe it was a little hard to see. Anyway, after doing all this stuff, I see, I kind of screwed up here. I try to get into the position, and after taking those pawns, I feel like I'm in a good position to trade. Because I have 2 passed pawns. He has 1 in the center, but I feel like I could trade or, you know, attack it. And I was right. I'm in a much better position against an 1800. At least in my head, it feels like a better position. Especially when it comes into attack here. And here, I missed the vital move. A5. 2 pawns can help each other make their way to the end. Because let's say he attacks this pawn. I just move it forward. It's protected. Let's say he comes here to try to attack both. I can come here. Oops, not there. That would be terrible. I could come here, and now I'm just supporting this push, and I'm going to promote before him, right? Something like this. Like, whatever, like... That's it. He can't do anything. Not that that's what my opponent would necessarily play. I was low on time. I didn't have time to think really about the position. Here it was a perfectly drawn position, and I thought of going back and forth, but I'm like, I feel like I'm winning. I have 2 passed pawns here. And I let the king get into the position, and I felt that it was a mistake, but I was just so sad, you know? I was so sad. So after that, you know, he just cleaned up, and I resigned. Those were the games, and now we're going to play a game of our own. This might be a long video, but hopefully that was mildly interesting. What is this? The French. So against the French, I played a blitz game that taught me a move in this variation. That's not the best move, but it's a move that I like. And the move has to do with the knight. The knight is supposed to go to a3 in the line I was looking at. Okay, not in this line, though. What the hell's going on? This already looks pretty crazy. I want to bring the knight here. Yeah, I'm not well versed enough in the French. I want to develop the knights. So I'm just going to develop it. Okay. He has a5. I don't want to play too slowly. My bishop doesn't have any great place to go. So we're just going to keep it here, getting ready to castle. We don't want any surprises. Surprise checks. I think that's fine. Or maybe not. That's what my opponent is thinking. So maybe it's not fine. But yeah. Anyway, I was going to say I wanted to go queen b3. In the line I played in the blitz game, I went queen a4, and it was just horrible. Wait, was that a blitz game? No, that was a rapid game the other day, right? And my opponent resigned in a winning position. What am I saying, blitz game? So, yeah, I want to go b3 in the future for that. Okay, when the knight develops, I believe taking this pawn is the move. Now, of course, this pawn is getting attacked. Gonna get attacked twice soon. So I'm kind of creating a weakness if I take here, which I don't really like. But there is ideas of b4. Like takes here, b4, takes. Maybe bishop f4 prepares for that, but then he can just go here anyway. And then I would have to come here. Yeah, this doesn't feel like the right move, but it doesn't feel like a bad move in my head. Very difficult. What if I go bishop e3? He comes here. I take. Queen d4. I like how that looks better, but I still think both of those moves are not the best moves. Of course, he still has queen b6, which I should have considered. But queen b6, pawn takes c5, queen takes b2. Wow, I can say all the numbers and letters now pretty nicely. So something like this. Then he could take this pawn. I think he's taking too many pawns from my position. Rook comes here. Actually, am I trapping him? Okay, so he brings the knight over instead. Which makes sense. We have this bishop move attacking the queen, which I kind of like. Of course, then he could go b6. If he pushes the pawn, we take. He takes. If we bring the bishop to safety, he could take. That doesn't make sense, so let's do it. Let's do it. I don't mind trading bishops. This bishop is a thorn in my side in the French, I feel like. It's just annoying. It works together with the queen, so I don't mind. I always feel like I'm on the defensive in lines like this in the French. I really need to find a counter to it. Feels like the Caro-Kann in a way to me too. Okay. So we were expecting that eventually. We could castle. We could take, and then b4. That's what I'm thinking. But what if he takes this pawn instead? Then we're kind of going into the line from before, but it looks worse. I really don't like this opening. I gotta stop complaining though. What about b3? b3 we can c3, of course. But then he has enough. Yeah, I kind of ignored this fight by pushing the bishop there. That wasn't very smart. I feel like I have to take it now. Or I could bring the bishop back. Trying to calculate everything. Another idea is just to castle, let him take, bring the knight here. And try to trap his queen. I kind of like that. I mean, I think I screwed up with the bishop move. And I felt like it was a critical moment. I should have spent more time thinking, but maybe I still had a chance that move and castling wasn't good. Okay, that's a very interesting move. I don't think that's a great move. I don't think that's a great move because what if I take? He takes. I come here. He takes. I take. He takes with check. I move to the side. It looks scary, but I don't actually think it does anything. Takes. Takes. Here. Takes. I'm down a pawn, though. Maybe we simplify and just move the bishop back. And if he takes, we just take with the pawn. That way we have a defensive structure with all the pawns and our rook gets opened. I actually don't mind this. I think my opponent might have made a mistake. That's the feeling I get. Of course, again, he can always take the b2 pawn. Yeah. Can I come here, let him take the rook? There's also this option of just taking this bishop. I mean, this pawn. Takes the rook. Knight here. No. Queen here, takes the rook, knight here. Is he trapped? Very tricky position. Queen here, queen takes, knight here. He can target my queen right away. I can check and take it. Or maybe it'll turn into a draw. Like back and forth, repetition. Let's see. Here, here. Very tricky. Here. Here. Doesn't help. We just take his queen. Yeah, let's go for it. And if he trades, then the queen is gone. But what a crazy structure that's going to result from all this. Maybe rook a5, attacking the c5 pawn. That doesn't make sense. He could just take, but then c3 takes on d4. Let's see what he does. I think this is an interesting plan. Of course, actually, even if he takes, I would be up a piece, right? So if he comes here, and we bring the knight here, and he tries to attack the queen... Okay, yeah. There's literally... Did he just take a pawn? Huh? Sir? Are you crazy? Am I crazy? Is that not just a blunder? I'm so confused. That was just a blunder. Weird. Alright. Yeah, I guess we just play faster now. That was super weird. Yeah, okay. 1670 rated. That was weird. That was super, super duper weird. Let's look at the game. I'm telling you, when people play fast, they just make such simple mistakes. Okay, so a6 was the mistake here. That's why this French defense looked super weird to me. But I wasn't sure if it was some variation that I didn't know. I played it okay. Knight a3 is such a common idea. It's like, it always works. I don't know why. Or well, I kind of know why, but not really. Like, let's say he comes here, h4, okay. Let's say his queen comes here, which is, I feel like, very common. I could take, and if he takes, then I have castles. He comes here targeting this. I have e3, which is actually the move I considered just right away. And he actually can't threaten b2 anymore. He's forced back, and this looks like a pleasant position. Okay, he could go to a5 actually. e4. If takes, then we take, threatening the queen, and okay. It has opportunities to get attacked, I suppose. Interesting. This is the Venice system. O'Kelly Venice system. Interesting. Okay. So my bishop move wasn't the best. I should have just castled. Okay. But it wasn't that bad. And castling here was not good. Which I said I feel like it might not be that good. If he takes here... Yeah, I feel like most people wouldn't take there. They would try to move their knight somewhere. Actually, the knight can't go forward anymore. So that's an interesting play. But if you place too passively, I could connect this, protect the pawn. But look at my king safety. Damn, that's crazy. Is that not a crazy set of moves? And then I just go back quietly, kind of protecting everything. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Very beautiful stuff. Makes sense too. Anyway. Yeah, you see, I saw bishop c2, but I put my love into this plan. This is what I saw. And apparently this is losing because... Oh, because he took a rook. I end up getting the knight. I'm so stupid. And then if I come here trying to attack it and he comes here, then we could go back and forth is what I was saying. Something like this. This. But I'm stupid. He could develop the bishop here. Yeah, this was too crazy of a position to do things. And then here he's forced to give up the queen. That's some crazy shit. And I'm still losing. Because he gets 2 rooks for the queen. I don't know why I think of the queen as if it's worth 18 points or something. Anyway. Yeah, and I saw this move. It just looked so passive and so bad. Because I knew this was coming. And if this... Like, I didn't want it to be this. Because now I'm just down a pawn, and this pawn is very weak, and his pawn structure is beautiful. Which is why I don't like the French. I don't know how to counter it. If anyone has advice on how to counter the French, let me know. Anyway, after this, he comes in with the knight, and his game is essentially done. He could have taken with the pawn, but... Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm currently a 1729 rated player, which is pretty cool. If you watched this far, say 30, because this video is long. It's like 30 minutes, and I really appreciate you guys, especially those that watch this far. So have a great one, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.